Operating an aircraft type in the three digits isn't something to be ignored. It will often speak volumes about the respective airline's business that can make a single aircraft type work to such an extent. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, it would certainly mean a lot. Typically, we'll see large commitments to narrow-body aircraft, with say 150 plus 737s or maybe 100 A321s. Moving upwards towards wide bodies, it's a rarer sight. Will airlines fly large amount of wide bodies? Yes, absolutely, but they may not always hit the three-digit mark. That's why when you consider Emirates flew upwards of 100 Airbus A380s all at the one time, that's for the world's largest passenger plane, eyebrows raise even more. Why did they do this though? How did they make it work? And what's next for the Dubai-based carrier that, according to many, has carried the program on its shoulders? Per the latest data at the time of writing, Emirates has 224 aircraft in service. Now, this is spread across the Airbus A380 and Boeing 777 series. 97 A380s remain operational. However, and this is a pretty big however, 24 are in storage, resulting in 121 units. The pandemic hit the A380 as a series pretty hard, and as covered across on DJ's Aviation, which is the main channel for aviation news, the A380 spent substantially longer on the ground than the 777 on average. However, it was still eventually able to return in numbers. Before the pandemic though, how could Emirates make this aircraft work? And why did they order so many? Well, I wanted to explore the business model of Emirates, which obviously helps make the A380 work. Such a type wouldn't survive within the fleet without an adequate business model to accompany it. However, Emirates is one of the few airlines globally that has really stuck to its model and made such a high capacity and, when you think about it, wildly out of favor aircraft at other airlines work for them. Dubai is a central hub, and it's what Emirates calls home. They operate all their flights out of here, so considering their model doesn't rely on other nearby cities, such a high-capacity airliner into slot-restricted airports directly from one hub can work. The A380 could never work in some markets for many reasons, but take the United States for example. As you may be aware, no US customer ordered the Airbus A380. Why? Well, because your American Airlines, Uniteds and so forth, and even Air Canada if you're including North America, rather than having one singular hub like Emirates for Dubai, maybe Qatar Airways for Doha, and even Etihad Airways for Abu Dhabi, it makes more sense to utilize an aircraft such as the 777, 787 and or A350 on these international services from various cities right across the country. But for Emirates, they're sticking with Dubai, which is their home. So those traveling to Dubai also have the option to travel through it, which means thanks to the geographical position of Dubai and the UAE, it also becomes an ideal stopover point for Emirates to connect onwards with other high-capacity aircraft needed to ferry travellers. Take your origin point as Australia, and looking towards concluding in London Heathrow. Yes, you could potentially use the services of Qantas to go non-stop from Perth to London. However, the option is also there with Emirates, who have a strong presence in Australia, to fly to Dubai, have a stopover, and then continue on one of the 7 daily Emirates flights that there soon will be. Emirates focuses on operating from Dubai with the A380 to other major cities. Thus, with the A380, there is no need to focus on smaller cities. 1, it wouldn't work, and 2, likely the plane wouldn't fit in these cities. It'll use the powers of code shares to work with the national airline in the respective country it's flying to, which means those customers can jump on board, say, an A380 from Dubai and connect onwards to, say, an Air Canada Express flight to a regional location within Canada. The same could apply for the Philippines and other areas of the market, as part of Emirates' continued and pretty extensive codeshare partnership agreement with multiple airlines across the industry. Emirates just loves what the A380s can do for them, and they make it work. The carrier has already said that the 380s will remain within their fleet through to into the 2030s and likely depart before the turn of 2040. This aligns with the airline's attempts to keep its fleet as young as possible, allowing its customers the best experience and most modern cabin possible. But why was it the A380? After all, when you consider what was around at the time, the 747-8 was also being discussed, and other future aircraft that they would acquire, such as the A350 and 787, were in the early stages of development. Well, per Tim Clark, who is the president of Emirates, the A380 gave the United Arab Emirates carrier the opportunity of a lifetime that it had no other choice but to take. The sheer capacity that the Airbus A380 offered them meant they could not only redefine what it meant to travel, but also efficiently serve demand into slot-restricted airports, where bringing in a 500-seater aircraft would give them much more possibility than, say, a single twin-engine plane per day. And while they utilize the Boeing 777 for services that don't require an Airbus A380, their point stands for slot-restricted airports why an aircraft like the A380 on the hub-and-spoke model is so beneficial. The aircraft, though, generally boosted the Emirates growth plan and Dubai as a location that I think you could say they did quite well with. Emirates only continued to increase its orders for the world's largest passenger plane through the years, as covered in a recent order history video, and the A380 has very generally become a flagship for Emirates. It's front and center of global advertisements, and even if you don't know so much about the industry, most will have likely seen an Emirates ad with the very quad-engined double-decker plane I've been talking about, whether it's flying or in stunts. Emirates has done also a fantastic job at marketing the plane. The A380 and Emirates have really advanced to be more than just an airline on the global scene. What's next? With Airbus not looking to build an A380 replacement, as Emirates would likely be the only carrier interested in such a high-capacity plane, Emirates will really have no choice but to look elsewhere. The 777X, 787 and A350 will yes all arrive within the next 5 years, and those orders will no doubt grow. But in terms of a high-capacity airliner to fill a similar business model, the best they'll get is the A350-1000 or the currently ordered 777-9. However, the days of quad-engine planes and double-deckers are undoubtedly fading, and manufacturers are looking elsewhere. You can't necessarily blame them when you take a look at the overall commercial success of the A380 and the 747-8. Unfortunately, while Emirates carried the A380 program, if it wasn't for them, it would have been very dire scenes. And unfortunately, we all know that the 747-8, at least passenger variant, did not really entertain all that many orders. The next era had truly arrived. Only time will tell though if Airbus answers Emirates' calls for an A380neo, but for now, enjoy the A380 while it lasts with the airline. Because one day, the flagship of the Dubai-based carrier will be no more. If you have any thoughts on the topic covered in today's video, be sure to let me know down below in the comments. Your support is greatly appreciated, and please do take care and be safe, and I'll see you next time.